Well, something to brighten up your day on the show this morning. We're joined by Dan, the humorous. He's made us laugh time and again. And he's right there in our Lagos studio. Good morning. You're welcome to the Morning Brief.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Kyle. Good to see you. And even though you're not here with us in Lagos, but yeah, good to see you via technology with your turtleneck. That's nice, you know. I was worried you'd be wearing that like trench coat today, but it's fine.
Come on, it's good to see you. Yeah, I don't even know whether to welcome you because you're already a part of the family. I'm curious, really, when you look at the news, because I know you're a very versatile comedian, and that's one thing we always talk about, versatility. But when you look at the news these days, is there anything that you see and it just makes you go, oh, come on? What's going on here?
Everything. I mean, particularly when you see the political space. In fact, at some point I get tired of even following the news, you know, and maybe just find something else to follow, maybe watch movies or something. Because I think one that actually has been in my head for a bit has been the recent ministerial screening. You know, and when you had Madam Bianca Ojukwu, I knew that what was going to happen. And I'm actually happy that it did because, you know, it takes my mind back to when we were having the other news, you know, right here on Channel TV. And I did a piece where I talked about how every government has a beautiful woman in the cabinet. But before now, you know, or now with this government, when the renewed hope came, the only fine girl that was there was Betta Edu, you know. So when Betta Edu left, I said, so we're going to have a cabinet without a fine girl or a fine woman. And then lo and behold, Madam Bianca came. If not that, it's just out of respect. They would have just told her, take a vow and go. Because they were not asking her any question, you know, at all. So at least we'll see somebody that, you know, in the government, you know, at least whenever they vex, you just come say, Nigerians, calm down and say, Madam, it's because of you. It's because of you. The story don't finish. Oh. What do you want to hear more again?
No, I handed it over to Jeffrey and Bukola because I know that they want to have a go at you.
All right, so let's come back. So we're here. Well, it's good to see things from that perspective, as far as it's concerned. But is there any other thing that is happening in the government? Let me ask it this way: that is funny to you, and that is not funny to you.
So there are certain things that have happened. Anyway, we could talk about nothing there. So I mean, there is the whole news of the plenty communication assistants or communication aides for the presidency. And when I didn't actually pay attention to it until, you know, it came out there, I'm like, what's going on? And then my namesake comes in there. I said, okay, fresh energy. And then before you know, in 24 hours, we are now hearing different things. So I'm now wondering, even within the communications group, they are not even communicating. How much more communicating to us, you know? And you know, in communication, there's internal communication, external communication, you know, and all of that. So a lot is happening. But one of the things that actually stand out for me this particular season has been the American election.
Yeah, I know you're a big Trump supporter.
Yeah. And why is it, apart from even, you know, my support for Trump and everything, when you see a system, when the whole election came and, you know, the whole fight and everywhere they hurt, and then everybody accepted that Trump won and all of that. Two things that came to my mind. I said, in all this fight and noise and media hula baloo, we didn't see any peace accord. We didn't see any peace pact. Peace pact.
Yes, peace pact.
We didn't see any ambassador of any other country coming to call Donald and Kamala and say, you people not a fight to just election without this thing. We didn't see any bishop, any imam, any former general, nothing. Everybody did their thing. The results were coming and dropping, and I said, with all this fight that happened, if it was Nigeria, even if somebody must have won fair and square. There will still be a, lawyers call it lacuna. So by now, some sums will be brewing up
for tribunal.
By now, they'll get me come out and say, Madam, do you know what they did in Pennsylvania? According to section 420, it's called abjus cusentus. Abjus cusentus. With abjus cusentus, we can hold them down. Just bring 2 billion first. So I saw a system, that was working or that works. And then after the election, you're seeing cabinet.
Yeah, cabinet is ready.
Appointment. Not just you're seeing cabinet appointment, you're seeing who is doing what. So they are saying, oh, Jeff Zongo is secretary or minister of this. Bukola is secretary of minister of that. We're not just saying we see list, we see Kayode, we see Bukola, that's it. So even when they want to screen you, and I've been personally bothered about that from time. Like even when they want to screen you, they will not say, Bukola, since you used to work in the TV, how do we revive the Radio Corporation of Nigeria? You will talk. By the time they appoint you, you are Minister of Agriculture. You will now start to operate Nigerian agriculture like television station. So I see a working system, and I am hoping and praying that everybody that is following, because I know everybody followed it, whether you are supporting or not, so that the people at the helm of affairs and all of that, as they are following, that they are learning something. That we Nigerians, as we are following, we are learning something. In fact, go all the way back, the whole President Biden dropping is as a result of debate. Ordinary debate.
That we don't do here.
And what even caught me that period was like, this thing is so sacred that they didn't even say, we are the ones in government, where they fear anybody, we go run out. They said, no, with this performance, no, sir.
He even called for the debate.
You understand? He even called. So you see a system, and I found out that because when you, in fact, come down to it, let's not be as if to balance the whole conversation. When you see the conversations on social media on this American election, I tell myself, now just good road and light these people get. They are not different from us in terms of political conversations. The same way we're having banters and everything, the same way some people will carry one kind of political opinion, you not be like, are you this ignorant, this level of ignorance, that is life? You still see the same level. You see level of intelligence, you see level of ignorance from people that you're supposed to respect.
Not understanding what tariff is.
You understand? You see the whole using of celebrity, which also I've also never been a fan of from time. Because I tell people that, look, you can use a celebrity to endorse a product, milk, whatever. People will say, because Dan is drinking that milk, I go drink her. Because why? They believe in Dan. And they believe that for Dan to the friends like this, because they will drink this milk, I go drink her.
I go fresh.
But when it comes to their survivor, that is when it comes to their reality. No, Dan's reality is different from my reality. Dan is not buying fuel the way I'm buying fuel. So Dan is telling me to support Mr. A, make her look and well. And that's exactly what, played out. So there's a lot to learn, a lot to unpack. I hope that the people in the political system in this country actually learned and didn't just get entertained by it.
And speaking of what to learn, one thing that didn't escape the notice of comedians like you is how, the election was decided without rancor. And, some were saying that perhaps Kamala Harris should have hired INEC.
No pun in there.
Perhaps, Dan, you have some things to say.
So apart from my senior advocate, in fact, the election economy in Nigeria is very interesting. So apart from the media economy, you have what we call the mobilize. The mobilize are the crowd that you mobilize. It's a solid economy. Grassroots economy. If you know the GDP that flows in that system, you understand? You see those sea of heads. Oh my God! If you know the GDP that flows there, that one alone is a state on its own. Then you now have the election economy, you have even security and everything. The value chain, so that's the word I was actually looking for. Then the last chain is SAN, then they wait. Then they wait. No matter how the result goes, even if the result is as clear as day, they will come to you and say, Jeff, let me tell you, what happened here? Section 219, quoting, Alarotimi versus Akrerolu 2019. I'm going back to 1985. Wally versus Ikechukwu. Why do you think politicians are going to law school a lot these days? See all these former governors and senators, all of them, they are going to law. Because you think it's because they like education? No. It's because SAN have chopped their money. Chopped them down. You see, because it's like, haven't you experienced mechanic before? Your mechanic will tell, in fact, I once had a car, say, come, to go technical school, go hungry me like this. Because the guy will just say, this thing is Kamba Buska. Yeah? Kamba Buska, 65,000. Then they make the noise, coop, you will pay. Meanwhile, it's just wire the organ, sellotape. So he say, well, lawyer will come say, this thing. It's Abjudis Ferus. Abjudis Ferus. You say, what? You mean it? Say, once we hold them,
the senior advocate will come for you.
We will clip them on Abjudis Ferus.
Thank God your late father was a lawyer.
So I'm covered. Spiritually and physically.
I mean, maybe we'll try to, because let's trade back to Karen. I'm sure, I don't know. I wish you had more time. There's a lot of stuff about that. Karen, it's up to you now.
Oh, absolutely. Always a pleasure having Dan on the show. But I need to talk about something.
What anchor, by the way?
Exactly, and that would be a lovely sight. But Dan, I know you also ventured into business.
Yeah.
What did your eyes see being a business person? Because, as I said, you're versatile.
Yeah.
You also did business. You do a lot of other things. But what did your eyes see as an entrepreneur that you probably want to share with us?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's I wouldn't say I also did, because like I said, I give up. I'm still on it. But again, I already knew or know that it's going to be a learning curve. Because, I mean, first of all, the competence that we exhibit today, you know, in comedy and entertainment, this is it's probably like 21 years, you know, of consistent work. So you get to see the result. So I am, let's say maybe 2-3 years or 2 years thereabout actively in other sides of business. So playing with the whole startup space, doing some tech stuff, also going into the entrepreneurial aspect of entertainment. We are very close to sealing up a deal to start up our first movie, which will definitely roll by January. We're pursuing 2, but 1 is like 80% there already. Yeah, but because I understand all these things from where I'm coming from, I took time the whole of 2022 to actually get academic training. You know, because one of the things I learned very early is that no matter whatever gift you think you have, there is an academic path, you know, to it. And that's even why, for the sake of my comedy, I had to leave the sciences to go and study linguistics and communications, you know, at the time in the University of Port Harcourt. So I spent the whole of 2022 at the Pan Atlantic University doing a lot of executive courses in, you know, various business areas that has to do with media and also the startup space and all of that. And then, of course, people, if you see any entrepreneur for road, just press something for a hand. If you cannot press something, buy mineral or buy a mineral. It's not easy, you know. And I mean, I'm not even taken aback, because I'm a fan of autobiographies. I think maybe because I like gossip, I like story, so I like to know people's matter, you know. And speaking of which, that's even one of the attractions I had to someone like Trump, you know. So when people say Trump supporter, sometimes I tell them that when you hear of Trump, you probably hear of him 2015, 2016. I've heard of him since 1998. You know, and started even going to cyber cafe to read about him, bought the art of the deal, watched his shows, all those things. So of course, even his failings, his bankruptcies, all those things. So I say, so business is very interesting, this, because you can lose, then one come, boom. That's what my pastor calls restoration with compensation. So it's an interesting space, and I'm enjoying it.
In winding down, I wish you had come early so that we can have a lot of time. But we have a lot to talk about with you.
Just like the former guest now, you have me again.
Let's talk about politics. Are you venturing in?
I didn't look at.
I know you played that political role on the Flatmates. You always highlight that.
So I'm still in that space.
Okay.
You know, I'm a card-carrying member of the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State. So I'm still in that space. And you know, the thing about again, come back to American politics, is not everybody that is running for office. But you see people, you know, in the space also doing other things from the back end. You know, so back home in Rivers State, in town there, we do some stuff from the back end. Although it's been very heated, because now I come from a very interesting state.
Yeah.
So for now, they look there like this.
They observe.
They observe. They are watching, you know, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see if there's an opportunity to, you know, participate, because I'm all up for good governance. I'm all up for a very solid economy. You know, I'm all up for solid employment, because the number of people that send your account number daily is breaking heads. So if they have jobs, they will not send you account number, you know. But I think what is happening in Nigeria now is something that is institutional.
Okay. So
the government should not just be fighting a problem, they should be fighting an institution. Because I tell people that people are always shouting, oh, this government was that, this government. I say, well, that's because this generation, people started making money within a certain space. Some of us who probably started, you know, earning a living in our teens from maybe the military or passenger era, you know, and now it's different. So the matter is only come since.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Dan the Humorous, totally out of time. We wish you had more time.
Why? Let's from here enter.
Dan likes beautiful women, whether it's in politics or it's in cabinet or it's in broadcasting.
Let's not go in. But thank you, Dan the Humorous, for coming through. We're going to definitely have you again, and maybe you're going to be our fourth anchor on this program.
This space is it because of COVID? God, that shows the space for them for not shake hands.
I don't know.
It's so far.
Thank you for coming. All right, we're totally out of time. Let's remind you again that the Port Harcourt refinery is up and running. Processing has started.
Yeah.
They say they are starting with 60,000 barrels, ramping up to 90,000 barrels. But for us, I want to see the trucks loading and leaving to the outlet. But congratulations to Port Harcourt refinery and to the Nigerian government and to President Bola Tinubu.
For me, I want to see the price in the coming days. Then maybe we'll begin to say congratulations. But that's how the show has been today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Bukola Koka.
Took it right out of my mouth. NMPCL, how much is your petrol?
Yeah.
Have a great day, though. I'm Kyle Sunrise Daily is next.
As simple as that.